Today's Cowboys Report is made possible by Roan. I'm rocking one of their polos just like I do in that intro video. You can get your own this holiday season. Go to roan.com/chatsports and use code chatsports for 20% off your entire order as we preview tomorrow's Giants-Cowboys Thanksgiving Day game matchup. Maybe not as appealing as some of the other recent Thanksgiving Day games have been because the Giants are terrible and the Cowboys aren't that much better. That is why Dallas is only a 4-point favorite against the Giants. We'll see how much that line changes between now and kickoff. Giants have the NFL's worst scoring offense. Cowboys have the NFL's second worst scoring defense, which has gotten better the past few weeks. We'll talk about that in a little bit on today's show. Giants are banged up and self-inflicted cuts at quarterback, and some of the team quit. This could be an ugly one. Even if it's a close game, it's probably not going to be a fun close game. It might be a bit of a tryptophan snooze fest. So do you want to beat the Giants? Safe space to answer for you tankers and contenders, or dream contenders, winners, whatever you want to call yourselves. You want to beat the Giants? Y for yes, N for no in the comment section of today's show. Couple injuries here to monitor. DaRon Bland, I feel he's going to be on pitch count. Should be good to go. See about Trevon Diggs. My fingers are crossed there. We'll know more on Wednesday, later Wednesday, I should say, once the official injury report gets finalized for game distinction and everything there. Lamb should play. Rush should play. Smith was back at practice on Tuesday. Positive sign there. Jake Ferguson, concussion. I have my doubts he's able to play next week. Makes a lot of sense there. See about Eric Kendricks. The groin, now the shoulder too. He's a bit banged up. Marshawn Kneeland, I hope he's okay. It's just like rep limitations, but a little bit more worried there. Kind of doubt Zack Martin plays. You're not going to have Asim Richards. Maybe you get Brandon Cooks back, okay, but it is a still at least somewhat banged up Cowboys team. Lots of names on that list. The Giants, meanwhile, we'll see about Jermaine Eluemunor. He's not practicing, or did not practice, I should say, Tuesday. Doubt he goes. So, and already a team down. Their number one tackle, Andrew Thomas, going to be down there number 2. Evan Neal should be able to play, but he's been cooked by the Cowboys a lot. They actually just put Azeez Ojulari on IR. Armon Watts didn't practice Tuesday. Bad sign there. Tommy DeVito went from not being on the injury report to he's not 100%. He might not go. He hurts from the neck down, which is not a good sign there. There's a real chance he does not go. More on that in a minute. Deontay Banks, Theo Johnson, Tyler Nubin were all limited. Should be able to go, but limited on a short week does mean a little bit different stuff than limited in a normal week because you're only doing walkthroughs, so you're not really practicing. It's a little bit more deceptive. There's a real chance you see Tank Commander Drew Lock out there for the New York Football Giants, which might be a good thing for the Giants to win or lose. They put DeVito in over Lock. Part of me wonders if this is the Giants trying to trick the Cowboys and disguise the quarterback until game day as much as possible. We'll see what happens. I'm sure we'll know by well before kickoff on Thursday, though. So what is your confidence level in the Cowboys beating the Giants? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. Go vote if the ad comes here on YouTube. Let's talk matchups to watch. Number 1 is the Cowboys' interior offensive line against specifically Dexter Lawrence, who has not played as much. He's got a bit of a pitch count last week, got a bit nicked up. Think he'll be okay. The Cowboys' plan last time these two teams played worked. They doubled Dexter Lawrence on 80% of his pass rush reps. He had 1 pressure the entire game. He has been awesome so far this season. I would expect the Cowboys, whether it's Tyler Smith or TJ Bass or Brock Hoffman, alongside Cooper Beebe, since I doubt Zack Martin plays, I would expect the exact same game plan. They're going to try to double up Dexter Lawrence and not allow him to have pressure immediately in the lap of Cooper Rush. It worked well last week. Also worth mentioning that he didn't play as many snaps last week. Or last time, I should say, for the Cowboys. It worked last time. Last week, he didn't play as much. Tanking, a bit banged up. We'll find out. Today's show is made possible by Roan. Starchy, stiff workwear is not optimal when you got to endure your busiest, most important days. With our commuter collection, your clothing looks professional, performs like activewear, and feels like total comfort. You want to look without having to think about it. A layerable, durable, refined wardrobe that is easy to style and exudes confidence effortlessly is what Groin delivers. Their signature technical fabrics stretch in every direction. They breathe, they fight odor and the elements, and effortlessly work together so you can stay calm, collected, even when life takes unexpected turn. If you want to be a chill guy, you got to get Groin. The Commuter Collection can get you through any workday and straight into whatever comes next. Head to roan.com/chatsports and use code CHATSPORTS. Save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you head to RHONE.com/chatsports and use code CHATSPORTS. Time to embody your most confident self with Groin. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. We'll stick on the trench play here. It is the Cowboys tackles against the Giants edge rushers. The last time that these two teams played, the PFF numbers were a little bit better, but it is still or better for the Giants up front, I should say. NFL Plus's stats had only 2 pressures from Kayvon Thibodeau, 0 from anybody else. But it was 5 from Thibs, 2 allowed from Steele, 2 allowed from Guyton, 2 from Brian Burns. Those are good numbers across the board. Terrence actually played pretty well outside of, I think, it was 2 bad reps, really, against the Giants. You need more of the same. Richards is banged up. Doubt he's going to be able to go. You're banged up elsewhere on the offensive line. Hopefully Tyler Smith plays this week. I would expect Kayvon and Burns are able to play better than what they did the first time. They didn't have their best stuff. But I think your tackles have gotten better as well. Even Terrence Steele, since that first matchup, certainly will be one worth monitoring because the Giants want to have success. Their defense has to play some great football. One thing I am very curious to see, at least in terms of how it unfolds, is what is the Giants' plan? This year, they are a top 10 blitzing team. They bring a blitz about every third play, whether it is first down, second down, third down. There's no tells of it's heavy third down blitzing, heavy first down blitzing. They just blitz about every third play. 30.4% this year is top 10 in the NFL. And they did not blitz the Cowboys. Historically speaking, you have seen teams not blitz Dak Prescott because he tends to have great success against the blitz. He's got a high football IQ. Cooper Rush has a high football IQ as well, and you saw that against Philadelphia and Houston. They did not blitz Cooper Rush very often. Maybe they thought they could win with 4. Maybe the game got out of hand against the Houston Texans. They actually blitzed about 28% in the first quarter and then kind of stopped because the game got a little bit away from them. The Commanders, though, still blitzed a lot. Not quite as much as they did over the course of the season, but still a pretty good amount. So far this year, Rush has been pretty good against the blitz. Only has faced about a 16% blitz rate, which is, again, no tangible differences there between him and Dak Prescott. Teams have not adjusted their defensive strategies too much there. Not as accurate completion percentage-wise, but higher yards per attempt, 6.5 versus 5.3. As many touchdowns in far fewer attempts. Also has taken more sacks, but a higher ratio. He's done a pretty good job against the blitz. He's a pretty smart football player. He knows how to get that ball out quickly. I'm curious how the Giants approach that game plan. Do they blitz what they've done previously, or do they dial it back again? Matchup to watch, number 4, is CeeDee Lamb against Drew Phillips, the corner, who did not play the last time these two teams matched up. What's funny, by the way, is you can look at CeeDee Lamb's career numbers against the Giants, and it looks a little bit like this. His stats this year are not that different. It's 59, I believe, for 850 in 9 games played, which is there's a lot of fun stats you can go through of like, here's the 16-game pace for Cowboys players against the Giants, and they're all pros. Because the Giants suck, and the Cowboys kick their butts a lot of times in a row. Lamb's getting a 34.6% target share on his routes run, second highest in the NFL since the bye. That's massive. 8 for 98 and a score, most of that in the first half against the Giants the first time these two teams played. I bet they feed him again. Final matchup to watch, the Cowboys' run defense against Tyrone Tracy. Tracy didn't play a lot the first time these two teams played. It was more of a heavy Devin Singletary rotation. Tracy's gotten more of a workload since then. He's been really good. There's a guy I wanted out of Purdue. Was one of my preferred running back draft targets. I had a much higher grade on him than where he ended up going. Averaging 5.1 yards per carry this year for a Giants team that likes to run the ball up the middle. They did not run the ball to the edge as much against the Cowboys in Week 4. I doubt they try it this week. Your run D's been better the past 3 weeks. Micah Parsons has come back. That's helped them out quite a bit. Mozzie Smith has played better. It's probably all connected, by the way. Run defense has to do well since you would assume the Giants try to run the football given the quarterback uncertainty. We'll be live for this game. It's Thanksgiving football. Do not miss out. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/CowboysTV. All right, players to watch. Let's go with number 1 here. It is KaVontae Turpin. Now, Turpin has gotten more involved in recent weeks. He has been impactful. They've given him the occasional target, the occasional touch. That's a positive thing. I want to see more for Turpin. I like what I've seen for the most part out of him. The return game has been pretty fun there. I do think that is more of a gadget guy you have to scheme for, and I still have doubts about your head coach's ability to do a lot of fun stuff with the gadget guy, even though, can I just try to? He's not as big as Ty Montgomery, but can I just put him in the backfield occasionally and do an angle route? I've asked that for CeeDee Lamb. Do a Turpin too. It's not that hard. Player number 2, Jalen Tolbert, the wide receiver. And regardless of if Cooks plays or not, I'm sure we'll know not long after this video goes out on Wednesday. I filmed, of course, on Tuesday evening. Tolbert, I'd like to see a little bit more from. Had the drop, then a touchdown catch. He's kind of been at times the sacrificial X. The Cowboys gave Flournoy and Mingo run and then went right back to Jalen Brooks. Tolbert's going to be the number 2/number 3 when Cooks returns. So I'd like to see him continue to show some promise. In a season that's still kind of lost, I want my young guys to start flashing more. Prediction time. Who do you think scores the first touchdown for the Cowboys this week? Let me know in the comments of today's show. Number 3, Osa Odighizuwa, the defensive tackle. I liked what I saw from him last week. I thought he was impactful. I thought he got some pressures, did a good job against the run. What you're hoping for, whether you want to pay him or not, is that Osa continues to really kind of dominate down the stretch. He can make himself some money. You feel better paying him. You get a better comp pick. Whatever it ends up looking like, that's a positive for all parties involved. Number 4 is Luke Schoonmaker. Happy to give him some praise, by the way, since we didn't give a ton of praise to him at any point outside of the past 2 games. He's been better these past 2 weeks. He's got almost as many yards in his last 2 games as the rest of his career. That's a bad thing previously, but regardless of how you felt about the pick, I know almost all of us did not like that one. You can go find my reaction to the pick on social media. You still want to cheer for the guy. You want him to do better. Keep stacking good games there, Scooney. Number 5, Rico Dowdle, the running back. Got to be involved again. I will give Mike credit after he finally did it. They tried to establish that run a little bit more. Rico Dowdle's success rate is actually kind of stupid high right now. Now, this is just, it's 1st and 10, you get 5 or more, whatever. It's 3rd and 1, you get the 1. It's down in distance relative. Rico Dowdle's success rate has been really good this year. Now, there's not a lot of explosive plays. I'm not saying you don't still want to get a more explosive runner in that building, in that room, but Dowdle's success rate is top 3 among backs right now in the NFL. Depending on, you'll see different success rate numbers. Basically, it does 1st and 10, 4 yards count as a successful play, or do you want to get to 50%? There's some disagreements on that. As long as it's consistent, it still pops in the top 5 metric there. Keep running the ball with him. And back quarterback makes more sense, especially given all the light boxes you face. You know, David Montgomery's got a super high success rate compared to Rico Dowdle. Montgomery, or just higher, I should say. Montgomery faces double the amount of stacked boxes. Should not be overlooked. Made it to the end of the video. Thank you all so much. Let's troll our Giants Now host, Marshall Green. Everyone type FMarshy in the comment section of today's show.